No Toad Racing League and Faded TV welcomes you in here tonight, Sunday, at Kansas in the ARCA cars as they continue their 20th season here. Only a few weeks left of the season, and Skylar Carnes has ran away with the standings up atop 363 points with 22 bonus points total. Matt Piercini second with 316. Johnny Brugg still hanging on to that third spot with 273 points. Ileana Hamilton fourth, 257. John Campbell 255 there in that fifth spot. So still a little bit of a race for third overall, but it appears if we take a look at the schedule coming in here tonight with the Bling Bling Sisters 150, second to last week. We'll be at Charlotte Motor Speedway next week. But, yeah, Skylar Carnes all but wrapping up the season championship. We also have to, well, I don't know how to word it. It's difficult to say, but No Toads lost one of their own recently. Alan Dixon lost his mother in a tragic car accident, and a message from the league goes as followed. The No Toad Racing League and all the drivers express sadness and condolences to the Dixon family as Alan Dixon lost his mother in a tragic accident this week. All our thoughts are with you. That's from No Toad, of course, us over here at Faded TV, and I'm sure everybody watching at home as well. Our thoughts with the Dixon family, of course. Qualifying has begun. 5 minutes total. These guys will get 2 laps around Kansas. The best of those two will be their official time. John Crutchley, the 48 car out there, one of the first. Wesley Hayes as well. Jaden Consterk laying down his qualifying lap here. Underneath the lights here at Kansas, Jaden usually with a red paint scheme with black accents, but tonight, under the lights here at nighttime racing at Kansas, he's going to go with the black car and red accents. I like the change from the 8 car, Jaden Constert, as now the majority of racers have entered the track. There's Kyle Gretsch, Sexy Waltrip they call him. I'll never not laugh when I say that. Matt Piercini, second overall in standings. Going to be tough for Johnny Brugg to catch him, so I would say with just 2 races left, pretty safe. He's gonna end the season with second overall in points. But laying down currently the top time here in qualifying, 31.58. Skylar Carnes making his way out onto the track. We'll see if he can best Matt Piercini. John Barton as well in the 68 car. Well, as you say, and as I've said, this is the Bling Bling Sisters 150. A little bit about Bling Bling Sisters, an online fashion boutique. Bling Bling Sisters, a fun store for women who love bling. Whether you want to bling a little or bling a lot, we are here for you. The best way to shop with Bling Bling Sisters on iOS. Download the app today. Men, Christmas right around the corner. If you're looking for a gift for your wife, download the Bling Bling Sisters app. Get her something nice for the holidays. We put them through enough crap as it is. Get them something nice for Christmas. Now, I was really waiting for the 47 to shoot up the standings here, which on his second lap he did. He was sitting at 20th after his first lap, but his second one only coming in as the 5th fastest time, about 40 seconds left in qualifying. So Skyler going to have a little bit of work to do here tonight. Matt Piercini still holding on to that top spot with the 31.59. Tyler Merritt, though, besting Ileana Hamilton for second, 31.72. 31.73 for Hamilton. Kyle Gretsch, 31.75. So with just 15 seconds left, I should do it for the qualifying sessions. We'll get to the grid here momentarily. Two hours to finish tonight's session. Should have plenty of time there. 100 laps here at Kansas. Here is our grid presented by Precision Graphics, Precision GRPX over at Facebook. If you're looking for a paint scheme, this guy does awesome work for any car that you may need done. Use code FADEDTV for 10% off. So, we talked about the top 5 with Skylar Carnes being there. Kendall Kerr, Johnny Brugg, Jacob Klinkart, Dustin Barton, and Jason Benson finishing out your top 10 with Sargent and Justin Malarkey there in 11th and 12th. Behind those guys, Sid Kashishi and Wayne Hayes, Marty Rogers in the top 15. John Campbell, David Rhodes, Con Sturck, John Crutchley, and James Lawson there in the top 20. With Alex Goff, Brian Cooper, Ken Olson, and Will Jester in that 24th spot. And rounding out the grid here, 26 cars. John Barton, Scott Kelly sharing that last row. There is pole sitter Matt Piercini. Mid-South Sports Report podcast. Of course, we've talked about that a couple of times this season. He's also, the South Sports Report podcast has sponsored a race or two this season as well. So we're going to get these guys out onto the track. Here we go, getting out onto Kansas Speedway. Nice to see some new names up front here. How about Tyler Merritt coming in second place? Going to be on that outside row 1 as these cars come out of the backstretch. We will be green this time by. Still waiting to see if Kyle Gretsch appears. Supposed to be in third. But he's on the outside right now, sitting fourth. So not too sure. Maybe those guys switched up a little bit, but we'll focus and keep our attention up front. The 24 car, Matt Piracini, gonna accept the green flag as we are underway. Green flag racing at Kansas. Pretty even across the start-finish line right there. I think Matt Piracini will have the advantage overall going down into turn one with Tyler Merritt on that outside line. You see the 7 car of Kyle Gretsch making his way now towards the bottom. A nice little shift there from the high side down low. Going to tuck in behind the 24 car of Matt Piracini. The 30 car, Kendall Kerr, on the move on the outside of the 72 of Ileana Hamilton. Can't quite clear and make the pass. Oh, Hamilton getting a little bit loose there. Oh, he's still trying to save it, and he gets down into Johnny Road. And that's going to be the first caution of the night. You see the sparks. You see the damage on the front end there. Look at that right front from Ileana Hamilton, the 72 car, just getting a little bit loose, and unfortunately not being able to save it there. Almost. Let's go ahead and take a look from the chase cam here and see just how much he fought. Oops. That's not what I want to see. There's the big lick onto the outside wall there. Let's go ahead and rewind this a little bit, though, and show you guys on the inside just how he was fighting this car, trying to keep it together. See, he starts to get loose pretty early. You see him fighting the wheel right there. So an early caution to get us started here at Kansas. Now, I'm not too sure how much damage Brugg is going to have. He certainly took a shot from Ileana Hamilton. But, of course, Hamilton receiving the majority of the damage within there. But it looks like we do have a new race leader, at least currently. That's what it's showing in the standings there. And you do see the 53 car in front of Matt Piracini. So Tyler Merritt came across the final sector when that caution came out as the race leader. I'll tell you what, a fine job, grand scheme of things, from Hamilton and the rest of the drivers here at No Toad to avoid what really could have been a big wreck here at Kansas. I mean, he was running up there in the top 5, I think, 5 or 6 when that happened. So that really could have turned out to be ugly for the rest of the field, but he did a heck of a job trying to save that car. And yeah, he tagged Brugg there, but overall, I don't think the damage was too high on him, and the rest of the cars behind him being able to navigate their way around Ileana Hamilton being able to avoid some early pit stops and fast repairs by some of these guys. And we're officially 5 laps into the race. Under yellow here, Bling Bling Sisters 150. This is No Toad Racing League. You're watching it live over on YouTube at No Toad Racing League, or maybe you're over on twitch.com at Faded TV. Whichever platform you are watching us from, we appreciate it. We'll get these guys back to side by side. This should be the last lap around under caution before we get back to green flag racing, where we will see the 53 car of Tyler Merritt now on the inside taking the green flag. As you see, the pace car just totally cut off Tyler Merritt there. Tyler, green flag is yours. There he goes. He decides to go way past that white line. Perfectly legal at the majority of these tracks like Kansas, Chicago, Atlanta, Vegas, etc. You see Kyle Gretz now started third. On the inside of Matt Piercini, so he's fighting for second, and there is the 47 car. Skylar Carnes making his first appearance, and we might be going 3 wide here on lap 7, almost 4 wide. You see just how wide the track is down the front stretch there as these drivers do cut below that yellow line. We're still 3 wide here. Skylar Carnes, Kyle Gretsch, and the 30 of Kendall Kerr. Off of turn 2, onto the backstretch. Jacob Plinkert getting involved in the 5 car up top. A nice entry for the 5 car. Skyler now going to check it up high as maybe he thought Kyle was slowing him up there just a little bit. So that's going to break the 3 wide, but we're 3 wide there almost for a whole lap. We talked about the good corner entry into turn 3 the 5 car had. That pushed him up to third for the moment. Tyler Merritt still second. And Matt Piercini back to your race leader. So that didn't last long for the 53 car of Matt Piercini. Or, excuse me, Tyler Merritt. Kendall Kerr so far really riding that high line here at Kansas. That's going to allow Jacob to at least look on the inside. He's not going to have enough. Yep, you see him check back up high now, single file. Tyler Merritt now falling all the way back to 4th. He's got Kyle Gretsch on the outside in the 7 car. And Sarge up 5 spots in the early going, finds himself in 7th. Skyler drops back to 8th. Jason Benson up a spot in 9th, but right now, Jaden Consturk in that 8 car, our biggest mover so far, as he's on the outside of Gary Sargent. That is the battle for 6th, and that puts Jaden up a total of 12 spots here on lap 11. He's got Skylar Carnes now. I believe those guys are teammates there, at least that's what the information was given to me at the beginning of the season, and they're cutting it pretty tight there. Skyler trying to get that outside line working for him, and here comes Sarge now on the inside of the 8 car. Not being able to make the clear, though. That 8 car holding strong on the outside. We'll see if Gary can get it done now down into turn 3. Out of turn 4, onto the front stretch. Can he get the clear? No, he cannot. You see the momentum from the 8 car on the outside line. Oh, but now the 8's in the wall. He's going to have to try to save it there. He does. But unfortunately loses, I think, ultimately 2 spots. Here comes the 19 car of Sid Kashishian on the outside. So it could have been a lot worse for the 8 car. Unfortunately, not what he desired there, getting out of the wall. And it's tough to try and fight yourself off that wall. It almost becomes a magnet. It just pulls you in. You're not going anywhere. But tough start for Jane Conster. Justin Malarkey up a spot to 11th. Ileana Hamilton in the 72, losing the most spots early on. Of course, we saw what happened to the 72 car on lap 5. So Hamilton trying to get back into this race. Lap 15 out of 100. Complete. Kendall Kerr in the 30 car, your new race leader. So this is our 3rd different leader, our 4th lead exchange, I believe. So these guys up front really scrapping it out. You see Kyle Gretsch now up to 2nd in the 7. Jacob Klinkert up 5 spots in 3rd. As Matt Piercini fell to 4th. Came in as the pole sitter here tonight. So still hanging around inside the top 5 as he sits 4th, but certainly doesn't want to lose that pack in front of him too much. Right now he's about 3/4 of a second from the race leader. Speaking of the race leader, Kyle Gretsch on the outside. Gonna pass the 30 car. Yep, he gets the clear. You see the 30, check it up high. Getting behind the 7, so there is our 4th different leader, but there he goes into the wall. So unfortunately, a couple of drivers here struggling with that outside wall, and that's going to allow the 30 of Kendall Kerr to take over this race once more. Jacob now up to 2nd. He's had a good run here so far in the 5 car. As we see the race sponsor joining us in the chat there, the Bling Bling Sisters of Iowa. And of course, this is the Bling Bling Sisters 150. Kendall Kerr still up there in the lead. Kyle Gretsch, unfortunately, after taking his trip up to the wall, got knocked back to 5th, where he's currently behind Matt Piercini right now. You see Piercini on that inside line. Will Kyle Gretsch make the clear? I don't think he will. These guys battling out right now for 4th. There's the clear. Good job by Kyle Gretsch to be able to rebound from that. Skylar Carnes up to 3rd, and there is the battle for 1st. The 5 car of Jacob on the outside. The 30 car of Kendall on the inside. Coming down the front stretch here at this tri-oval. And it looks like that's going to be a lap led for the 5 car. So that's technically going to be our 6th different leader, I believe. Here in the early going, or at least our 6th lead exchange for that matter. Skylar Carnes lurking back there in 3rd. Had a little bit of a slow start here, only qualifying 5th. Trying to work his way through there, and because of the mistakes by Kyle Gretsch, Matt Piercini, and Tyler Merritt, who's all had rough starts themselves, Skylar Carnes able to make his way through the traffic. And right now he's on the outside of Kendall Kerr. That's for P2. Next up, going to be the 5 car, Jacob Blinkhardt. Let's see what he does here on the backstretch. And you see there, Jacob being able to defend his first place right now and kind of keep Skylar Carnes in check behind him. So a good run right now by the 5 car, showing a lot of strength up there. Gary Sarge up to 6th, Tyler Merritt 7th, Justin Malarkey's got his 97 machine up 4 spots. He's currently in 8th. Back up front, the fight for the lead continues. Now Skylar going to try the outside of Jacob. See if he can get a run going there. He's going to bring the 30 car of Kendall Kerr up high along with him. So Kendall able to defend Skylar the last time when he was on the outside, but right now as he got stuck there on the white line, he is going to give up the lead to Skylar, and he's going to give up second place to Kendall Kerr. As long as Kendall can make the clear, he kind of does a little bit of a slide job on the 5 car there. And the 5 comes back down on the low side. So Kendall Kerr, Jacob Blinkhardt now really battling it out for that second position. Of course, all that's going to do is allow Skylar Carnes to create a bigger of a lead. Good job by the 5 car to realize that maybe that race for second wasn't worth it right now. He kind of lets off a little bit, lets Kendall Kerr take sole possession of that second place, falls back in front of him, and you see Kyle Gretsch now with a head of steam. And that high side seems to be the preferred line here at Kansas in the early going. We've made our way a quarter of the way through our 100 laps here. We've only had one caution. That came on lap 5 when Ileana Hamilton struggled out of turn 4. Got loose, did a heck of a job trying to save it, ultimately losing that fight to save it. This is still the battle for second, and we still see Kyle Gretsch eating the wall there a little bit. That's really going to allow Kendall Kerr to take that second spot. And now he's on the bumper of Skylar Carnes, trying to take back that lead. Gary Sarge up 7 spots, up to 4th, trying to track down that 7 of Kyle Gretsch. You see in the relative on the NASCAR tower on the left-hand side, still a little bit of work to do before he gets up to the back bumper of Kyle Gretsch, but sitting pretty is the 28 car of Sarge in the early going. Justin Malarkey up a total of 7 spots as well as he makes the pass on Matt Piercini. He's up to 4th. Oh, okay, I was going to say trouble for Carnes, but no. He's just coming down pit road. Ileana Hamilton and a gang of cars behind him going to do the same. Dustin Martin, Sid Kashishian, and Ileana Hamilton. So right here on lap 30, a handful of the front guys coming down pit road. And it gave the lead back to the 30 of Kendall Kerr for just a moment. But as you can see, he's going to come just a lap later than those guys to make his green flag pit stop. Kyle Gretz now in the lead. We'll see how long he decides to stay out. It can be hard sometimes when you're up there by yourself. We see Kyle Gretz right now almost 2 seconds on Sarge. It can be hard to discipline yourself to come down pit road, but no problem for Kyle Gretz. He's going to make his pit stop now. Gary Sarge up there with Justin Larkey, Matt Pirosini. That's going to give Marty Rogers now inside the top 5. He's going to be sitting in 4th. Along with Wayne Hayes behind him. You see the 27 car of Marty Rogers. Rocking the Bling Bling Sisters logo right there on the hood. John Crushley back in 4th right now in his Cartoon Network Scooby-Doo paint scheme he's had all season long. Brian Cooper, Iowa Hawkeyes. You see the State Puff 42 car of Jason Benson making his way back out of the track after his green flag pit stop. Gary Sarge now down pit road. That leaves just Justin Malarkey up there by himself. We've seen the 97 car. Oh, and our second caution. That's going to change a lot of things here because there's going to be a lot of cars. You see them right there a lap down. Of course, Malarkey is going to have to come down. Crutchley, Cooper, all those guys are going to have to come down pit road now under caution. Not too sure what brought out this last caution. Nobody's showing up into the red here. So unfortunately, I don't have much information on that last caution. No information through the iRacing live timing. But nonetheless, second caution of the night, lap 35. And Justin Malarkey is going to catch a little bit of a break on that. He was one of the last cars to stay out for his green flag pit stop. But now because he had to come down pit road, of course, all those guys that were stuck a lap down, they get that lap back. And in fact, it seems it would appear 19 cars back on the lead lap. John Barton in the 68 back in 20th, along with James Lawson, David Rhodes, Will Jester, Scott Kelly, Alex Goff, and Ken Olson back there in 26. We're going to have 6 cars a lap down, so that's going to be the race for the lucky dog between John Barton in the 68, James Lawson in the 66. Barring that we do have another caution, that lucky dog's going to play an important role here tonight. John Crutchley getting the wave around there, so I do believe we may see Justin Malarkey back in that top spot on this next green flag start here. So, you know, sometimes we talk about it a lot in racing. The guys that stay out, it can pay off. And as we see the pace car off here, not too sure why we're not extending this. This is a terrible restart here. I have no idea what's going on here. They should have extended that caution and got everybody lined up where they needed to be, but also in a better formation. That really confusing me, but nonetheless, Justin Malarkey, he's loving it. He's already out to a 0.6 second lead over second place 96 Brian Cooper. John Crutchley in third, Skylar Carnes fourth, Gary Sargent in fifth. Four wide back here, coming across the front stretch right there. You see some contact between Kendall Kerr and the 27 of Marty Rogers. Both of those guys hanging on. And Kendall Kerr on this restart. A little bit of risky business, but he's trying to charge back up to the front. Out of the back bumper of the 53 car. Having to let off a little bit early there. You see the 34 car of Scott Kelly. So that restart being so strange. Guys not lined up where they need to be, and by not extending that caution, we have some lapped cars up here racing with the lead lap cars. Tyler Merritt, Kendall Kerr kind of been battling each other all night long, whether it's up front for the lead or back here for sixth. And just like when it's up front, advantage to the 30 car. Jacob Klinkart, unfortunately, having to start towards the mid-pack on that restart because of that caution, really messing things up a lot. So many people that came down for green flag pit stops. A handful of drivers had stayed out. That's why there was so much confusion on iRacing's part, trying to get these guys back lined up for the restart. Back up front, though, it is the 97 of Justin Malarkey in the lead. We saw Malarkey, I want to say it was at Bristol, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But if I remember correctly, it was Bristol. Justin Malarkey had a heck of a race there. May have been somewhere else, but we've seen the 97 car up front before, and we've seen him have a really decent season so far in the 20th season of No Toad Racing League. These guys starting 20 years ago on NASCAR 2K3, which is still beloved and played till this day. I know there's a couple of YouTubers that run seasons on NASCAR 2K3. Of course, there's mods that you can download for that game and kind of keep it up to date as much as possible. Brian Cooper, though, the Iowa Hawkeyes 96, holding strong there in second. He's got about a 1.5-second lead over Skylar Carnes, who sits back 2 1/4 on race leader Justin Malarkey. John Crutchley, he's up to 4th. He's up 15 total spots. A big winner from that last caution that we had. Oh, and Brian Cooper going to take a wall ride there. And there it is. It's so hard to get off the wall. And with the rest of the field there, and he's still eating the wall there, you'd almost think maybe something came unplugged on his end there. Yeah, he's still on the wall. He's AFK. The 96 is AFK. And that's going to bring out our caution. Had to have had something unplugged on his end. He hit the wall and really never got off the wall and sort of coasted as it ghost rode or drove right down in the center of the track. Oh my goodness. Let's go back and take a look. Let's go cockpit here. Let's go back to the yellow flag, but let's actually back it up a little bit further than that. Let's go back to where he actually hits the wall, and you'll see there's almost... That's a yikes. But it seems like he's gotten everything back under control here. Unfortunately, though, did interfere with another car on the track. So with our third caution of the night, we're going to throw it over to our sponsors and a word from Makoni Setups.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flags Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
And don't forget to use code FADEDTV for 15% off checkout on all subscriptions, products, and live coaching that they offer over there at Makoni Setup Shops. So almost to the halfway point here. You see Malarkey tried to maybe save some fuel there while under caution. maybe just trying to do the best he can to only come down pit road one more time. If going back to the first green flag caution, it was on lap 30, so that should tell you right there. Pit windows are going to open up every 25 to 35 laps here at Kansas. If he's able to save enough fuel and only has to come down twice, that could be really, really big for the 97 car. Now, is it possible? I don't know. But it would be right. It would be cutting it close. Nonetheless. Alrighty, and there is that halfway point right there as we eclipse lap 50 under a caution. We'll go one more time around. It'll be a little bit of a cleaner restart. Remember last time there was a lot of guys trailing the leader. Most of the guys were single file. Some lapped cars were up front with the lead lap cars. It looks like this is going to be a lot cleaner of a restart. And a big one too, because the 97 looks to the outside and sees the 47 of Skylar Carnes, who having a little bit of an off day for him. Typically up there up front early and often. This is the first time we've seen him past third, I believe. But he is going to be on that outside line. He is going to have to wait for the 97 to initiate this restart here. And you see Malarkey waiting all the way up till the lights, and that's going to give Skylar a chance to hang around going down into turn one. Still hasn't cleared him. Now he's cleared him. Good job by the 97 car of Justin Malarkey to be able to take that spot down into turn one. But here comes Skylar now on the inside. Doesn't really go down that low either, forcing the 97 of Malarkey to stay outside that third white line out of turn four, which Justin says, hey, that's fine with me. Look at all the momentum that I carried off at turn four. Continues to lead this race. Skylar now deciding that he likes the outside line, so he's going to check it up high, try to get a run out of the backstretch out of the 97. Justin Malarkey trying to defend the points leader. 2 races left tonight in Charlotte. And at least for one night, these drivers trying to knock off Skylar Carnes of that pedestal. And right now, that job belongs to Malarkey, who decides to stay on the inside. Skylar on the high side. We've seen a lot of passes being made on the outside. And here comes the 47. Side by side, Justin Malarkey, Skylar Carnes battling it out for the lead. Here on lap 54, advantage Malarkey. He slides up on Skylar, but Skylar gonna dip it down low, makes some contact, sends Malarkey into the wall. Don't think Malarkey's gonna like that too much as Skylar now on the outside. Let's see if Justin does a little bit of the same here. Might give him a little bit of shove to the outside. Decides to give Skylar plenty of space. Says, hey, I don't need to move you to pass you. I'm going to do it the clean way. Justin Malarkey, the 97 now, onto the inside, down the backstretch. Can he give Skylar a run? No, he cannot. Skylar still in the lead, still on the high side through turn 3, out of turn 4, onto the front stretch of this triangle here at Kansas Speedway. This is the Bling Bling Sisters 150. And this is No Toad Racing League. 2 nights of action left before these guys take a little bit of a break and head to the Xfinity cars next season. They're still running the ARCA series. It's just going to be on a different night, I believe. It's going to be on Monday nights. Don't quote me on that. And it is still going to be broadcasted. It won't be broadcasted here on Faded TV. We will pick up on Sunday nights right where we leave off on a new season. Oh, and we got our fourth caution. I think John Crutchley might be involved in this last one. Oh, yeah, you see the damage right there. Oh, and the 8 car gets a little bit on the inside there. Let's see if the 8 came up or the 47 came down. We're actually 3 wide there for a second. The 8 car sends the 48 hard into the wall up there. Nice job by the rest of the field behind the 48 to make their way through that carnage. The 8 car just coming up out of the 48 is what it looked like to me. So unfortunately, that's going to send a couple of cars down pit road. Use some fast repairs. Of course, Crutchley, he didn't even have a right tire there, so he's certainly coming down pit road and getting some damage fixed. Justin Malarkey deciding to stay out. Skylar Carnes, Sargent, Gretsch, Rogers, Tyler Merritt coming down pit road as well. So a lot of drivers coming down pit road here. And this is right where that pit window is. We talked about it. As early as 25, I think that's probably pushing it a little too early, but 25 to 35 laps is where this pit window is for these drivers here tonight. A lot of drivers coming down lap 30 the first time around, and a lot of drivers coming down 30 laps later on lap 60, essentially. I know it's 59, but we're under caution here, so essentially lap 60. And Justin Malarkey decided to stay out. He's still going to be your race leader. Johnny Brugg, Kendall Kerr, Jacob Klinkert, and the 24 car, Matt Piracini, hanging around the top 5 here tonight. Sid Kashishian, John Campbell, Brian Cooper up 14 spots there in 8th. Wayne Hayes up 5 spots in the 9th. A good night for that 2 car. And Skylar Carnes going to be starting on the 10th spot. So on what is just our 4th caution of the night, we were able to see that one. Unfortunately, we had no information for the 3rd caution. I do apologize for that, but at least we saw the 4th. Only 2 cars involved, really 1 car on the big end as far as damage goes. And that was John Crutchley, a.k.a. Naj. Johnny Brugg up front now. He's 3rd in points. It's going to be near impossible for him to catch Matt Piracini in the point standings. I mean, Johnny Brugg's going to have to take home a lot of points here in the next 2 weeks and have Matt Piracini just have a really bad night. But I don't think that's going to happen. That 24 car Matt Piracini, a terrific season. And, you know, if it wasn't for the dominant 47 car here, Matt Piracini would be looking at that championship. So it's going to be tough for Brugg to catch Piracini. However, the 4th and 5th place in the standings can catch Brugg here in the next 2 weeks. if Brugg can struggle, but it looks like he's not right now. Of course, he's going to be on the outside of row 1 starting this restart second. So a lot of things have to go a lot of ways for some of these drivers to gain some points. Again, Skyler's up there all by himself. He's virtually wrapped up the season as the champion. I suppose, you know, anything can happen, but mathematically speaking, he's just got to show up and turn some laps, essentially. All right, here we go. Line back up, side by side, pace car off. Johnny Brugg, Justin Malarkey, going to be on this front row, coming down this front stretch here. Malarkey waiting for the green light. A nice jump. A nice restart by the 97. Looks like he's going to win that race down into turn 1. Johnny Brugg on the outside. But you see the 97 clearing the 1. The 1's going to cut down low here out of the backstretch. And that's what he does. So Johnny Brugg now onto the inside. You see Kendall Kerr in 3rd, Matt Piracini 4th. This is the race for the lead. Johnny Brugg looking for his first lead in a few weeks, I feel like. Of course, he was here for the Iowa road course last week, but he didn't qualify, if I remember correctly. He had to work his way up through the field. Still had a pretty good showing. But it's been a while since we've seen the Turf Lords 1 car up front. Of course, at the beginning of the season, him and 47 were really putting on a show. But I think due to other reasons, Johnny really kind of turned into a part-time driver here on Sunday nights. He missed a handful of races. It's even more impressive. He's up there still 3rd in points. Whoa, you see the 5 car, Jacob Klinkert pushing it. I think there might have even been contact there at one point between him and the 1 car. And we have a fight for the lead. Kendall Kerr up there trying to make it 3 wide. Decided not to. Probably a good choice there. The 97 of Justin Malarkey, though, not only losing first, you saw the 5 car, Jacob Klinkert, glued to the back bumper of Johnny Brugg. Johnny brings him along with. Here comes Kendall Kerr on the inside. So Malarkey falling hard. And that's just a product of not coming down pit road with the rest of these drivers. They're on fresh tires. He is not. Jacob Klinkert now on the outside of Johnny Brugg. So Johnny with a short lead here. Getting the push from Jacob Klinkert and Jacob Giveth and now Taketh as he's your new race leader. But here comes the 1 car on the inside. Oh, you see Jaden Constrick now coming up onto the track. This could be dangerous. You have to make sure he's glued to that white line. Not too sure if joining the track with a bunch of leaders coming out like that is the smartest thing to do. But you got to do what you got to do. I feel like you're going to lose the lap anyways. Very dangerous. Luckily, all the drivers, though, being able to make it around him. You see Johnny now losing pace a little bit. He's on the inside. Kendall Kerr and Skyler Carnes working together on that high side. That's going to send Johnny Brugg back to 4th. And here comes the 30 and the 47 down the backstretch, trying to track down the 5 car of Jacob Klinkert. Jacob drops down low, and here comes Kendall Kerr on the outside. This is for the lead. And I think that's going to be a clear for the 30 and a clear for the 47. As the 5 car, just going to have to check up high and fall in line behind the 47 of Skylar Carnes. Johnny Brugg does the same behind him. So they're running 4th and 5th, and here comes Sarge on the outside. Oh, and I think that might be Sarge that was in the wall, and it is. And he's just going to have to take the wall ride of shame. Finally gets back down, drops down low. A risky move by the 28 car. But again, that's just how this wall is here at Kansas. It's so hard to pull away from that wall, but he does a decent job of getting down. But unfortunately, that's probably his race as far as trying to contend for a podium or for a first place as he drops all the way back to 19th now. So that's unfortunate. Back up front, though, the 30 of Kendall Kerr still holding on to that top spot here. You see Skylar almost had to let off there. He was full sending it down into turn 3. You see Johnny Brugg just for a split second. He's got Kyle Gretsch to worry about. This is lighting it up for 3rd, and Johnny decides to stay low. Sexy wall trip up top in the 7. Kyle looks like he's going to get the clear. He does. Johnny having to fall single file now behind the 7 car. So a new 3rd place driver in the 7. Skyler still struggling to get past the 30 car of Kendall Kerr. A phenomenal drive right now by the 30. You see Kendall almost throw a block there. It was a little bit too late, though. He realized there wasn't enough room to throw the block. Unfortunately, had to go back up high onto the racetrack, and that's where Skyler will strike. And for the first time tonight, the 47 in the lead. Kyle Gretsch also says, whoa, not so fast, as he makes his way out of the inside of the 30 before Skyler is able to get a real good run, but unfortunately an overdrive from the 7 car. Kyle Gretsch into the wall, able to save it, but going to lose a ton of time on the 47. It looked like he was going to carry in a lot of heat out of, into turn 3 and out of turn 4 to be able to make a run out of the back bumper of Skylar Carnes, but that wall will cool you down as he struggles now onto the backstretch, continuing to hit that wall. We've seen this a handful of times here tonight at Kansas, the high side being the preferred line, but unfortunately flirting with that wall up there. It's like going down an interstate with construction, and they got the cement barriers, and you're going 75, 80 miles an hour, and you're sketched out, and you're panicking, and that's what it's like running this high line up here at Kansas. So easy to hit the wall, and that's what we've seen out of here, out of a couple of drivers. And it may not be anything like that, but that's what it reminds me of. It's how close these guys are to running that wall. Of course, they're not going 70 or 80. These guys are well over triple digits. So lap 25, or 25 to go, lap 75. And we have seen some cars come down pit road. Matt Piercini, I think, might be an unscheduled pit stop. And unfortunately, I think that's going to send him a lap down before it's all said and done. But of course, he might be on an early pit strategy here, knowing that pit window is preferred at that 30 lap mark. All these other guys are going to have to come down pit road. So with 25 laps to go, he's going to come down, get his last set of tires, get his fuel, make sure he's good to go for the rest of the race. You see, he's only going to be a lap down, and he's still going to be in front of Justin Malarkey. No, there goes Malarkey. Okay, so that's the race for the lucky dog if, unfortunately, a caution does come out. You see Sarge trying to hold on there. He's already a lap down. Had a really good run tonight here, that 28 car did, and as soon as he entered the top 5, unfortunately got caught up on a wall ride, was able to save it, no harm, no foul with any other drivers out there on the track, but unfortunately lost a ton of positions. So we'll see just how long these leaders decide to stay out. Carnes and Brugg, Kendall Kerr losing that spot. Right now, this is the battle for second. Marty Rogers sneaking his way into the top 5, sitting back there in 4th. Ileana Hamilton back up into the top 5. Remember, he brought out our first caution of the night. So good to see Ileana bounce back the way that he has. Back into the top 5. We see Johnny Brugg come down pit road. 22 to go. Skylar Carnes, Kendall Kerr staying out. And it looks like Brugg bringing a lot of company with him. The 27 car of Marty Rogers making his way down pit road. Ileana Hamilton, Sid Kashishian, Jacob Klinkar. So a handful of drivers coming down with 21 laps to go. We'll see when that 47 car of Skylar Carnes and the 30 of Kendall Kerr decide to come down pit road. Right now, Kendall deciding now. Now's where I'm going to go with 20 laps to go. Okay, and he's bringing a bunch of cars. John Crutchley, Dustin Barton. As we see that first group that we saw now finally making the way off pit road, Ileana Hamilton and Johnny Brugg, etc. So Skylar now up there all by himself, a 5-second lead over the 21 car of David Rhodes, and all eyes on him to come down and make his final pit stop of the night. Now you see all the cars that are a lap down, starting there with that 5th place driver of Justin Malarkey, but they're all just waiting for Skylar. Skylar, when he comes down, whether it's under green or under yellow, they're going to get that lap back. I don't think there's any chance that Skylar can save fuel for the end of this race. We're going to keep it green. We're going to keep it live. We're going to take about a 30-second break up here in the broadcast booth. We'll be back. 18 laps to go. Taking a little bit longer than normal for the 47 car to get up to the front. And he struggles there a little bit onto the wall. That might be your cue, Skylar, to come down pit road here. Tires getting a little bit loose. That high side getting a little bit slick. Fortunately for him, he has a little bit of time to give up. You see only 2 cars on the lead lap. The 47 of Carnes, the 68 of John Barton. That's a pretty cool paint scheme here. Barton Brothers bail bonds. In jail, we bail. All right. I'm going to have to write this phone number down. No, I'm just kidding. And that is going to be the 68 car. Trying to make his way down pit road, or at least he thought about it. I'm not too sure what that was all about. Looked like he was going to come down with the 47 of Skylar Carnes, but chose not to, ultimately. Now he's going to come down pit road. Okay, so race leader now, John Barton officially coming out pit road, but here comes Justin Malarkey. He's going to be your new race leader. He's got the 30 of Kendall Kerr, about a quarter second back. Johnny Brugg, almost 2 seconds back. He's going to take over third. And Skylar's going to fall back to fifth, about 5 seconds behind Justin Malarkey with just 12 laps to go. And there's Kendall Kerr out of the inside. A beautiful move, taking it 3 wide. Wow. What a move by the 30 of Kendall Kerr. Can he make it last? Yes, he can. What a move by Kendall Kerr. Going 3 wide there, threading the needle. The 8 car was right there on the inside line. Could not afford to make a mistake, but he made it stick. New race leader, Kendall Kerr. Ten laps to go now here at the Bling Bling Sisters 150 at Kansas Speedway. Kendall Kerr now going to take us down to single digits to go, in full control of the race. He's out now just a little over 3/4 of a second on Justin Malarkey. You see Johnny Brugg putting a little bit of a dent in that time. Now he's going to be on the inside of Justin Malarkey. That's the race for second right now. And here comes Brugg. You see, just chugging along here out of the backstretch on the inside of Wayne Hayes. Now checks up high, wants that high side. Continuing to shorten the gap between him and Kendall Kerr. 8 laps to go. All the pit stops are done, out of the way. These guys are good to go to the checkered flag. See Justin Malarkey struggling back there a little bit. He's going to fall back to 4th. That's going to put Carnes up in a podium spot in 3rd with 7 to go. Matt Pursini in 5th. He's got the 72 of Ileana Hamilton trying to chase him down, in trouble maybe for the 24. Oh, and Kyle Gretchen to the wall again. Kendall, he's going to have to be careful. He's been running that high side, but way up high. Here comes Carnes. on the inside of Johnny Brugg. That's for second. And Ken Carnes tracked down Kendall Kerr. 6 laps to go. Oh, and we got our 5th caution, and that's going to change everything. As Kendall Kerr doing a phenomenal job defending Skylar Carnes, and Brian Cooper, Sid Kashishian wrapped up in our 5th caution. It all starts right here, the 19, thinking he had the 96 clear, which obviously he didn't. That's Sid Kashishian with a big mistake there. Just climbed up into the 96 car, and they touch, and that's going to send both cars around. So we're going to go to overtime. A green-white checkered is how we're going to end this race. It's going to be still the 30 car of Kendall Kerr. And we see Malarkey coming down. He might be trying to get a... Well, Malarkey might need fuel. Now, remember, he stayed out. Well, no, because he eventually did come down pit road, so... Malarkey might be coming down just to grab some right side tires if they got them still. See if that can make an impact for him on this green-white checkered flag. Wayne Hayes is going to get the wave around here. But Kendall Kerr, and you know, even though he was defending Skylar for the moment, you saw the momentum that the 47 car of Skylar Carnes carried all the way up to the front. I mean, it was like 5 laps ago. He was 4.5 seconds behind race leader Kendall Kerr. So maybe this is benefit to Kendall Kerr. Maybe he's a little bit better on the short runs. Only time will tell. Of course, everybody up here in the front going to stay out. They're not going to come down pit road. We might see some drivers that are 6th through 10th maybe come down, grab some fresh, but even then, I don't think so. We've really only seen one car come down pit road, and that was the 97 of Justin Malarkey. Looks like he's going to restart 11th, so we'll see with fresh tires, 3 laps. He might be able to make some ground up, but I don't think it's going to be anything astronomical. Especially with the likes of Brugg, Hamilton, Gretschy, Klinker, all up there in the top 5, top 6. Definitely no slouches up here in the top 10. Brian Cooper 10th, David Rhodes 9th, John Crutchley 8th, Marty Rogers 7th. I think these guys may only get 1 shot at a green-white checkered flag, maybe 2. But how this is going to work is if we make it to the white flag, the race is official. It doesn't matter. Every car on the track could crash. There will not be a caution thrown out if the white flag comes out. However, before we hit the white flag, there still is an opportunity for a caution to come out, which would send us to our second green-white checkered flag, provided they get a second attempt. Right now, these guys on the front row, they're not thinking about a caution. They're thinking about the checkered. The 30 of Kendall Kerr going to be on the inside. Skylar Carnes on the 47, of course, racing that paint scheme for his friend, stage 4 cancer. He's had this paint scheme on every one of his league races throughout the last 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, our thoughts and our prayers with Alan Dixon here this evening. His mother tragically passing away in these last couple of days. Alan, if you're out there, you're listening to us, not just a message from No Toad, but a message from us as well. We are with you in thoughts and can't imagine what you're going through right now with that loss. Take your time. Heal. Well, there's no healing from that, but grieve, I should say. Sim racing can certainly wait in a situation like that. All right, you see these guys lined up bumper to bumper. Johnny Brugg tucked in right behind the 30 of Kendall Kerr. He's on the inside of row 2. Ileana Hamilton with a nice comeback right behind Skylar Carnes. And here we go. Making sure you don't spin your tires, hitting your shifts. Right now, the 47 of Skylar Carnes with a good run on the outside. I think Johnny Brugg's going to check up high. He does. So down the back stretch right now, Skylar going to get the push from Johnny Brugg. You see Kyle Gretsch up there as well. Down into turn 3, the 30 car still breathes life. But it looks like we're going to take the white flag. This race will be official. One more lap around. It might have took him a little bit longer than normal, and that what he would have liked, but Skylar Carnes taking the lead with 2 to go. And it looks like that's where he's going to stay. Kendall Kerr fighting now with Johnny Brugg. 4 seconds. Stay off the wall, Kendall. He's going to get a run off turn 3. Here comes Kyle Gretsch in the 7. We're going to go 3 wide. Oh, what a finish. And it looks like Johnny Brugg by a hair on the 7 of Kyle Gretsch. What an effort by Kyle Gretsch there. Wow. A phenomenal race by all these drivers here. Kendall Kerr, Johnny Brugg, Gretsch, Malarkey. Those tires that he came down pit road before that last caution. Started 11th, makes his way up into the top 5. A good drive. And maybe a good decision by the 97. Ileana Hamilton, unfortunately, looked like he was going to have a shot of getting back into the swing of things. Drops to 6th. Skylar Carnes. And Kansas Speedway going to be calling the 1 car of Johnny Brugg to come out here and fix their grass as Skylar decides not to celebrate on the asphalt there for the first part of the celebration. And now decides. Do not forget this race being brought to you by Bling Bling Sisters, a fun store for women who love bling. Whether you want to bling a little or bling a lot, we are here for you. The best way to shop with Bling Bling Sisters on iOS. Download the app today. That's going to do it for the race. We'll get some guys in here for some post-race interviews as Johnny Brugg takes home the 3rd, the 1 car, the Turf Lord, Johnny Brugg. Johnny, you got a copy? Looks like he might have had to stand up, do some stretching after those 100 laps. There he is.
You hear me now?
Yeah, yes, sir. Hey, Johnny, another good race, podium. Um, this was a heck of a race. I mean, it seemed like all night long, top 5, top 6, everybody was right there with each other, especially with the handful of cautions that we had. Once we grouped everybody back together, it really seemed like anybody could be next to get that run. And you most certainly having a really good run there, beating out Kyle Gretsch by literally just a hair for that podium.
Yeah, it seemed all race. You could throw a blanket over the top 5 and lots of lead changes. And I just wish I had the tire there at the end, trying to battle with Skyler and Kendall and Kyle there at the end. Yeah, overall, good race.
Yeah, it really was. And, with just 2 weeks left here, and then we're going to be at the championship night next week. You are going to be, I believe, heavily involved with the ARCA series next season, where Sunday nights, I think we're switching to Xfinities, and you are going to be leading the ARCA series. What night are you guys moving that to?
So Sid and I will be hosting the ARCA series on Monday nights. And we'll have practice races for that, I believe, on Fridays. Okay. For the next few months, because I don't know if Sarge is I know he announced it to all of us. Season 21 won't start until January. So Sid and I, we haven't announced it yet, but we plan on running a holiday tournament, a 5-race tournament that will hold us over till season 21.
Well, there you go. And of course, feel free to reach out, because my Sundays will clear up as well until at least January. So maybe we can collab a little bit on that. But that's down the road tonight, celebrating a solid P3. Congratulations, Johnny Brugg.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting.
Next up, going to be Kendall Kerr in the 30. Kendall, wow. I mean, what a race. Unfortunately, Skyler there at the end. It looked like before that caution came out, you were doing a really good job defending your top spot. That's the last thing a leader wants to see, is that caution to send us into a green-white checkered. Isn't that right, Kendall? All right, Kendall AFK there. Unfortunately, let's see if race winner Skyler Carnes is AFK. Skyler, you got a copy?
I do have a copy, and Kendall is having issues setting up a push to talk.
All righty, fair enough. Hey, nothing personal there. Unfortunately, he's going to miss his race interview. But Skyler, it took you a little bit longer than what is the norm for you. And I don't know if it was, just get wrapped up in bad qualifying, the track combo for you, or simply, man, it seemed like a lot of drivers were on their money tonight.
Personally, I told my spotter, I said, let's just sit back and have fun tonight. Try to finish a top 5, top 10, because that's all we needed to definitely have our championship. And eventually we got up front, we led a little bit, and then fuel strategy and pitting came into play. I knew we were a top contender, definitely after realizing that top lane was it. If you had tires, you were able to, pull a slider, but that's about it. And then at the end on that green flag run, I knew we weren't going to have enough. Last minute, whenever we were about to pit, I called for my spotter to just throw right sides on. We were going to take no tires and try to be out front of Justin, but he took tires. So I saw him gaining time on us right before we came in. So I said, hey, throw right sides on and we'll get back out there. And by the time we get back out there, we're going to get to him. And sure enough, our lucky strategy paid out in the end, because we had the freshest set of right sides on. And caution came out for a GWC. Either way, I think it would have been a close battle for first or second if we didn't have that GWC between me and Kendall. Kendall was definitely going to block and do everything he could to keep me behind him. He definitely drove it off tonight. Justin had the fuel strategy, but the cautions just didn't play in his favor. So yeah, talent did show up tonight, and it was amazing to have good, clean racing and hard racing here at Kansas.
Yeah, now of course, you'd pretty much locked in the championship coming in here tonight, but maybe putting a little bit of a bow on it here tonight at Kansas. Moving to the championship race next week, um, it's already locked in. Hell of a run for you this season. What is your plan going to be in the off season? What's your next step as you progress through your iRacing career? And of course, racing a no toad, it's not like you're coming in here trying to take names and you have a checklist. You're racing with friends and racing with good people, but nonetheless, coming in here with a group of sim racers who've been around for 20 years and they know their stuff to bring a championship home. And of course, I know your involvement with other leagues and your progression through that. It really seems like the build up to 2022 is really big for you. What are you going to do in the off season, and what are you looking to do in 2022?
So I'm definitely going to be running more official races during our off season, especially this week ahead since I'm going to have the week off from work. More of a staycation, help clean around the house, might drive up and go get the rest of my belongings where I haven't been able to get stuff to move back to Tennessee. Um, Definitely going to be doing a lot more officials, trying to get my iRating up to 4K, 5K, and get set for Road to Pro. That's the main thing. I'm trying to get in leagues, with guys who have high I rating to see where I fare against these drivers. And not all the drivers have to have higher I rating to win and to be competitive. You see it all the time in league racing. But that's the main plan, is to prepare for Road to Pro and try to get a good shot going into this season. I know Johnny Brugg and we're forming a team. We got some drivers from another league that I've been running in these past Sunday nights, really fast guys. Tyler is trying to get some more guys. We're going to try to get a setup crew going on for that. So we're going to put more focus in that on the off season, and to help out the No Toads guys too. It's a little joke. I don't know if we're actually going to do it or not, but I think we will. Driving school, just to teach guys mile fast lines and show them where I'm gaining speed, and just try to help them get faster too. Because in my time of sim racing, I learned from the fast guys. They sat and taught me, so I want to give back to others that want to have it. If you want to learn how to be fast, I will give back to you, because I want to compete week in and week out and not know that I'm going to win or not. And tonight was one of those nights, because Jesus Christ, I didn't know if Kyle Gretsch was going to run away with it. Justin Malarkey off of fuel strategy. Kendall Kerr was stupid fast. Matt was fast in the beginning, but I think he just ate his tires up on that bottom. Johnny Brugg came late race, like Jacob Klinghardt all night long. Like, all these guys are just getting faster and faster, and I'm really proud of these guys because they put hard work and effort into it, and they deserve the praise. Not even just them, like Sarge, for getting a very good group of people to sit and run week in and week out with. This is why this is my favorite league out of all the leagues I've ran and still do run. This one is my favorite league because everybody's consistent. We're a bunch of group of friends, and we sit and learn from each other how to become faster and try to beat each other.
Yeah, and don't forget to use code FADED for the Skylar Brugg coaching sessions for 85% off all coaching sessions by Skylar Carnes. No, on a serious note, though, I got to get involved with something like that. I talk with you all the time. I broadcast so much. I barely have any time to race. So, and it sucks because I like to do league racing, but I don't get the time to put in there. But you certainly do. It's been paying off. Great season. Great night tonight. Skylar Carnes winning here at Kansas. Before we let you go, any shout outs?
I definitely want to shout out once again Nina De Benedetto. This win goes out to you once again, my friend. She same as last week, stage 4 cancer and everything, and all of No Toads we're pulling for her. We're sending prayers her way. We're doing all we can, to just help her fight this fight this fight against cancer. I definitely want to point to the sky and say, thank you to my buddy Josh Syntek's grandma, who's up in heaven because I love cancer. This car scheme is based off of his car he ran for her, and every time that he's ran it, he's got a win in it. And we now have 66 wins with this scheme. So we're going to keep on going. The colors for the scheme and everything for his grandma. So we're going to keep that streak going as best as we can. Want to thank all the fans of the 47 crew. Want to thank Brandon once again for another phenomenal stream. It is amazing just listening and hearing how you broadcast and know what you're talking about. It is fantastic. Sarge, Slider. My thoughts are definitely with Slider. He just recently lost his mother in a car crash, so Miss Dixon up there watching and smiling down on this league and smiling down over on Slider is definitely something. So my thoughts and prayers go out to the Dixon family, and I hope everything goes well there for holidays this season. But other than that, I think that's it, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. Just echoing everything that you said there. Good job, Skyler. Nothing more needs to be said there. Everything touched base on. We'll let you get going. And hey, congrats once again. I mean, we'll make it official next week at Charlotte. Looking forward to that track with these cars. I think that's going to be a heck of a race.
It definitely will be a heck of a race. Tire saving is going to be key. Last season was really fun because we only had 4 sets of tires and we did not have enough to make it to the end. So fuel strategy became the big factor, plus tire strategy and all that. It was fun. Expect Matt Piracini to drive the damn wheels off of the car. He's going to be racing for his grandpa again. So personally, I want to see that 24 car in victory lane for good old Norm.
Yeah, and a good season for him. Good season for you. Kendall Curry, you got a copy?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize we had to be set up for push to talk there.
Well, I don't think you do. You can certainly run an open mic anytime you want to. I will only pull you in when it's ready to be pulled in. But hey, nonetheless, the 30 car, that last caution came out, really killed your vibe. It looked like, I mean, number one, you had a fast car all night. I mean, it looked like you weren't even going to be caught until obviously Skyler on those fresh tires came, ramping up through the top 5. But up until that caution, it looked like you were doing a really good job defending that position from Skyler. And unfortunately, the last thing you want to see as a leader is that late race caution.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought I was toast. I think Skylar's tires would have paid enough dividends. He'd have probably beat me there pretty easily under green. But I knew whenever I couldn't get lane change or lane choice to pick the top there, I was in big trouble. I was trying to get to the top as quick as I could, and I know Johnny was up there at the exit of 2 in the green-white checkered, and then that killed any hope I had of even making a run at Skylar. But I love these progressive bank tracks where you can go up there and rip the fence. Iowa, Kansas, Auto Club now. It's the dirt racer in me. I just love it, and we hadn't had much luck this season here in no-toed racing, but it was nice to kind of put one together with no technical failures or no off strategy bad cautions.
Well, I mean, it was phenomenal, man. That 30 car was up front all night long, and we'll have to see. Speaking of tracks like that, and obviously, you can't compare it, right? But I'm interested to see Atlanta when it's all said and done. A lot of talk has been about the banking, and they're making it 55 feet wide, which is about the same size as Charlotte. But I think that's going to now Atlanta before the change was a little bit of a multi-groove track too. You had your bottom feeders, they'd be fine, but a lot of guys, what I saw here at Kansas, I see at Atlanta where a lot of guys enjoy that high side. Are you one of those guys that any chance you get, you're just going to run the high side?
Yeah, it's just so hard to complete a pass on the bottom if you've got somebody that's pretty good at running the top. And like I said, it just goes back to dirt racing, and if you can throttle manage up there at the top. Now, these ARCA cars are, if you go over the line and just even tap the wall, it's like there's like a magnet, and it just sucks you into the wall. So the penalty for stepping over the line is pretty severe in these cars. But yeah, I can imagine I'll be up there if I can.
Alrighty, Kendall Kerr, fast night tonight, taking home P2. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all in the booth.
Alrighty, that is Kendall Kerr and Skylar Carnes finishing 1 and 2 here. Johnny Brugg also putting his name in that podium. Heck of a night here. We got to cut it short my thoughts on Kansas Speedway. I really didn't know what to expect. I don't think I've ever broadcasted a race here at Kansas, regardless of what car we were coming in here. Huge fan of ARCA's no matter where we're at. So without having any expectations, I thought the racing was phenomenal. You had guys that were on the high side, low side. We saw 3-wide action being contained out there, right? Nothing crazy. The front stretch being able to go below that white line, extending that track a whole nother car length as far as width goes. A phenomenal race, a phenomenal finish. We appreciate you guys tuning in here on Twitch and YouTube. One more week to go. Next week, we will crown the 20th season champion here at No Toad Racing League. As always, take care of yourself. Take care of each other.